Okay, so we'll add two fractions here. And what I have here is I have two figures that represent parts of a whole. This first figure represents 1/2, and the second figure represents 1/3. So I have two figures to represent parts of a whole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these figures to add these two fractions. I'm going to use these two figures to figure out how to add these two fractions. Now the problem we have here with trying to add the 1/2 to the 1/3 is that if you look at the two pies up here, they're actually divided into unequal parts. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that if I am going to add the pies, that they're divided up into equal parts. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to find some number that both the 2 that this pie is divided into and the 3 that this pie is divided into is a multiple of. So I'm basically looking for a number that is divisible by both 2 and 3, a number that both 2 and 3 can go into. Now, there are many such numbers. For instance, 2 and 3 both go into 6. 2 and 3 both go into 12. 2 and 3 both go into 18. So there are many numbers that 2 and 3 both go into, but I'm going to look for the smallest such number that both 2 and 3, or the number of parts that make up the whole circle in each case here, go into. I'm going to use the smallest one, which is 6. So since I know both 2 and 3 go into 6, I can actually divide each of these pies up into equal parts if I divide them up into 6 equal parts each. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the process of finding the least common denominator. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to divide this pie up into 6 parts. So I'm cutting each of these uh, halves into 3 parts. So I'm cutting each half into 3 parts. And if I cut each half into 3 parts, I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces. So what I've done is I've cut each of these halves into 3 parts, which means I'm taking the halves and turning them into 3 parts so I can get a total of 6 parts. It would be like taking this fraction here and multiplying it by 3 over 3. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total parts to my pie. So 6 total parts to my pie. And the original half represents 1, 2, 3 of those parts. So I have 3/6 of a pie here, which is still my 1/2. 1/2 and 3/6 are, in fact, the same number. And to that, well, now I'm going to divide this other pie up into 6 equal parts. Well, each of these thirds would need to be divided in half so I could get 6 equal parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this third, I'm going to divide it in half. I'm going to take this third, I'm going to divide it in half. I'm going to take this third down here, I'm going to divide that also in half. So that now this pie is also divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. Well, once again, how did I do that? I did that by taking each pie and cutting it in half. So in essence, I'm taking the 3 pieces that were originally there and doubling them, making 6 pieces in total now. So I get here that this is actually, the original 1/3 is actually 2. Here you see 1, 2 out of the 6 parts. So now I have pies that are equally divided. They're denominators are the same, or their denominations, they have the same number of divisions. And now I can figure out how to add these, because now I see that I have 3/6 of a pie here, 2/6 of a pie here. So if I take these 3 pie pieces of pie plus these 2 pieces of pie, in total I will have 5 pieces of pie. One, two, three, four, 5 pieces of pie out of a total 6 pies, or 6 pieces of pie. So the answer, 3/6 plus 2/6 is 5/6. But you see, the key was we had to get each pie divided up into the same number of slices. That's the common denominator. All right, and that was 6 slices here. And that is how we add fractions.